Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live for Agree to Disagree, the show where we talk football and we talk opinions and we talk about things that are happening right now. And yeah, man, we're here to agree to disagree, man. You know what I'm saying? To big up the people. Make sure you smash the like button on the video. That would help the channel massively grow and get up the algorithm. Big up to Judge Mo, who's in the building. Italy, Serie A champions, man.
Yeah.
Big up,
Second
man.
star, 20 league titles now. Yeah. Second
Big
star
up.
is something big, bro. It's something big. Been waiting forever for it.
Yeah.
Yes. We're champions. It's fine. We need a fourth Champions League, so this is what we need.
We'll see, man. Big up to Judge Mo. Make sure you follow him. He'll be live straight after this. We'll take you there as well. So big up to Judge Mo. Guna Lee. Big up to you, bro. Everything all blessed.
Yeah. And listen, man, shout out to Mo as well with the title. Hopefully we can join him. And also shout out to yourself, man. 90K, bro.
I appreciate it,
man.
Thank
you.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you, man. It's been a grind, but we're here, man. So thank you to everyone who's been part of the journey. And yeah, man, big up to the community, man. And obviously we got Dan Potts as well. Football 12 Man podcast. How are you, man?
Yeah, man, I'm sweet. Big up to you, man, on 90K. That's unbelievable achievement, mate. So well done, bro. And big up to Mo as well on 20K, man, in literally no time. So big up to you, my bro. And congratulations on the Inter Milan stuff, even though I'm not a massive fan of Inter Milan, but you know, it is what it is. Listen, I'm here to talk, so there's a lot to talk about, bro. Thanks for having me on again.
Absolutely, man. Big up to you. Yeah, the hate along only lasted 40 minutes. It's one of them, man. But we move.
I don't blame you, bro. I don't blblame you, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly,
what were you doing, by the way? You had a Brighton top on. What were you doing, man? I seen your tweet.
I was trying. I was doing everything I could. They've got to drop points somehow, man.
I know.
This is where I'm at, bro. I've got to put a bloody Brighton top off and pretend that I'm a Brighton fan for the night. This is how desperate I am, man, for these teams to drop points. It's not going to happen, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen, man. It's not going to happen, but we'll see. You never know, man. Still a couple of games left in the title race. But listen, we got to talk about Arne Slot. We got Lawful and Derby, and then maybe a little bit on as well Rashford, the tweet, even though I'm going to focus on that tonight, but we'll definitely touch on that more. Big up to Mayo, says congrats on 90K. Big up the panel, love from the Oz. It ain't easy, GGMU. Big up to Mayo, always helping the channel, always supporting the channel. But let's talk about Arne Slot. There's some breaking news coming out now that Fabrizio Romano says, understand Liverpool and Feyenoord are now close to agree on compensation fee for Arne Slot as talks are progressing well today. There are some details to clarify, and then final green light is expected to arrive soon. Arne Slot, Feyenoord manager, won the league title, obviously, as there, 2022-2023. He's been talking a lot, though, man. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but he's been talking a lot, you know, like, I'm not saying he's been desperate, but, you know, it's very, very rare for a manager to be like, yo, man, I want to move. You know, I want to get there. I want to, you know, make sure it happens. Normally, they're quite, you know, you're looking at Amarin, for example, Mo. Amarin's been like, yo, respect my, you know, Sporting Lisbon. And this one, he feels like he's eager, man, because he's like, yo, they've came for me.
It's a very uncalculated risk, though. Your third choice manager. You remember Spurs when they like asked like 9 managers and then they landed with Ange? It worked out, but it worked out. Can we really say it worked out when they're still trying to get Europe? Like, I'm not sure. Like this Liverpool news about, oh my God, Xabi Alonso doesn't want to go. Amarim, they can't pay him the money. Now this guy Arne Slot is there, and then a lot of Liverpool fans are like clutching, in my opinion. Like they're like, yes, this guy he plays the same Klopp style or whatever thing. Come on, we know this is an uncalculated risk. You should have begged Jurgen Klopp to stay, and he left you high and dry. Basically, Jurgen Klopp left the club. He left the project that he built. Because he's tired. Come on, stay one more year, bro. Even Xavi's staying one more year.
That's what I said, you know, Mo.
Xavi's
should he stay one more year?
Like you, when you decided that you're gonna go, you're tired. It was the news that you're getting Xabi Alonso, so you were leaving the club. And someone you know, like you know what I mean. Like a lot of people are praising Xabi Alonso on the things that he did, and then Amarim. But then if these two didn't work, I think if you're a club legend. I think you have to stay. You know what I mean? Like you have to stay, at least help your club for 1 year until the managerial market opens up a little. There is other managers that will be free next year. Come on, do this. But he left the club high and dry. This guy, Arne Slot, might come in and it might not work at all. It might be, it might not work at all in terms of like if they miss on Champions League next season, imagine if they don't make Champions League next season. I think the club goes back like 2-3 years, and the assets, the players that they have, they might start asking themselves questions. I think this is an uncalculated move. It might work, it might not work. I don't know a lot about him, but it might not work at all. By the way.
You know what? You know what's interesting? Edwards came in and making them worse. Listen, we have to find out on that one. Yeah. Listen, I'm bantering in it. I'm bantering Liverpool fans. It's lovely, but objectively, Goodally, is this guy gonna be the one that can compete with Pep Guardiola? Even let's be honest, Arteta now is not a banter manager. Let's be honest, he's tactically been up there. He's been there for a few years now. You have to adapt into the league. Dutch managers, they hit and miss. Like, is it, like you said, Mo said, calculated risk, or what do you think in that regards?
I'm a little bit worried for Liverpool, and the reason why I'm a little bit worried for Liverpool is because I genuinely do believe that Liverpool have been carried by Klopp in terms of, I believe their squad's quite average. I think we all can agree that they weren't supposed to be here as high as long as they were.
Yeah.
They did well. They did really well, but I just don't believe that this squad is the squad that people profess that they are. And, every week they'll be winning on moments of, of not luck, but quality, like really good quality. They had a really good period where they were playing quality football, but I just don't really believe in them. So I feel like with this manager, I feel like he's not average. I'm not going to say that, but I just feel like the board are protecting the sort of assignment of or the team and the squad, by having a bit more of an average manager, I guess, because I feel like if Liverpool were the club that they say they are, you should be going for somebody who is of a certain standard. Now, I want to take everybody back to Arteta. The reason why we got him is because we were in such a bad, precarious position. We needed to start from the ground up, and it was a genuine project. And it's clearly worked out for us. But everybody keeps saying Arteta isn't the mold. He's not the person that you should be following. So, I think Liverpool should be going for somebody who does have a bit more clout, because you can have all the managerial experience and sort of tactics that you like. But I do genuinely think that you need to have a bit of cojones about you to go into a big job. And I don't know if he's going to have that. I don't know if he's he's the guy that is going to take Liverpool forward, personally.
Yeah. We leaked goals all year. We have been choking chance consistently this past months. Is crazy. You know what it is, yeah? I think it comes down to the unknown, innit? Like, when you have a manager who leaves had such an impact at your club, listen, one Premier League trophies you can banter, but he still won the Champions League, still got to finals and whatnot. Like, Dan, when you look at the impact he's had, like, the energy as well, like Jurgen Klopp on the touchline. Imagine this guy comes in and he's passive and he's a bit, he starts coming up with some wild excuses and that, and he's just a bit like, a bit tame. It's a whole character that's left the football club, It's not easy,
Yeah, it's ripped the heart out of the club as far as Liverpool fans are concerned right now. Don't worry about the history of Liverpool, because that's not going to be touched. But if you look at what's happened in the last few years, this guy has literally allowed them to compete and win trophies. And that's what Liverpool fans have been crying out for. But for me, I think this is a bit of a strange one. I'm not going to say it's a bad appointment, because I don't know enough about Arne Slot, right? All I do know is that he has an attractive style of play. But I heard this before. There was an attractive style of play at Ajax, and this guy's been shit at Man United. So if that's going to be the way now we appoint managers, then is Arne Slot going to be another Ten Hag? Now, it might be quite harsh to compare the two, because they're both bald and they both come from the same league. Doesn't mean they're going to be the same amount of quality, right? At the same time, you need to look at the structure at Manchester United, which is a shambles. Even you would agree with that, Saeed.
And
you need to look at the structure at Liverpool, and the structure at Liverpool is a little bit better. Obviously, Edwards is going to get back involved as well. So, of course, they're going to be a little bit more settled and sustainable as opposed to Manchester United. But I'm just so surprised that they haven't gone in with a manager that has a CV that says, I win now. Because Liverpool are there right now. Liverpool don't need a project. Liverpool don't need another 4 years to go and make something happen. Liverpool need a few players to go and compete and carry on from where they already left off. They were talking quadfathers and quads and do it for Klopp only a few weeks ago. So this is not a new project that's needed. I'm surprised they didn't go for somebody like Hansi Flick, if I'm honest. I'm really surprised. Somebody like that could have come in, said, look, I've won the Champions League and I've won leagues, and I know how to get you back to that top by an X, Y, Z, and we go from there. Because for me, Arne Slot, he hasn't had any experience with big, massive names. He's done well at Feyenoord and an attractive style of play. That's all he's got to his name, really. So I don't look at him and think, do you know what? He can handle Salah. He can keep hold of Salah. He can keep Trent from going to Real Madrid. He's going to stop Van Dijk from saying, I'm off, I want to stay another year. I don't know that he will. I think this could be a end of an era for Liverpool now. So it'll be interesting. I'm not going to write him off because I haven't seen him enough. But if I was a Liverpool fan and I was going for a Slot over somebody like Hansi Flick, I would be like more worried, and I would go and get a win now manager that has a CV that says I can win you titles and a Champions League. So, but that's just where I'm at. A lot of our Liverpool fans would be different. They were quite happy with Amorim or an Arne Slot as well. So there is the other side to it as well.
Yeah, I bet Goonie must be buzzing, man. If Poch gets sacked, then that's one less manager that Liverpool can get, you know, and it's a manager that, you know, because you were thinking that they would get Amorim, and I don't know if Chelsea fans want Amorim to replace Pochettino, but that was a kind of, you know, manager that you guys probably fighting for, because it is a manager merry-go-round, man. You know what I mean? I know Xavi has stayed, that's helped. You know, apparently I'm hearing Tuchel. I know Ragnick wants a job here, and apparently apparently they made a petition for him to stay. It's a weird one, man. Like, you know, managers staying after being told they're going to leave. And I don't know, man. It's a gamble. Is it clubs can't afford it? I don't know. It's weird, Goody, isn't it? Like teams are hesitant now on sacking managers, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but in Chelsea's specific case, they shouldn't really be too hesitant to be sacking Pochettino, because we've seen, you know, it's not amongst many other reasons, but when you isolate it with him, it's not really working out at all. And then on top of that, what doesn't help him is the stigma that he's also ex-Spurs as well. So the fans are more likely to have less patience for a manager like Poch. But I think I came on here last time I was on here. I said, you know, keep an eye out with the Amorim thing, because, you know, they say that he learned a lot from Mourinho, and him and Mourinho are very close, and potentially that could be a move that we go for. If Mourinho is advising him to come to Chelsea. But just in terms of like the managerial market at the minute, very similar to players, I just don't think there's too many elite managers, quote unquote, out there like it used to be, like, say, maybe 10 years ago or so, where there was elite managers all over the gaff. So we didn't really have to worry too much about who was taking over the big clubs. But yeah, it's definitely a managerial merry-go-round. Liverpool, I think a lot of the fans are disappointed that Xabi Alonso obviously is going to be staying at Bayer Leverkusen. I think many of them are, that was their first choice manager. But again, with these managers, Xabi Alonso, Arne Slot, Amorim, it's a risk. It's a risk because, like Dan said, none of these guys are really like win now managers, at least at the highest level anyway. So in terms of Liverpool going for Slot, I think it's a massive gamble, because again, like, I have to echo what Dan said. You know, we saw what Ten Hag done at Ajax. He's now come to the Premier League and he's struggling. Do you know what I mean? And he also won trophies there at Ajax. So Arne Slot, great football that he plays. There's obviously one stuff over there, but England is a completely different dynamic. Do you know what I mean? Managing over there, you've got a lot more. You know, anyone can beat anyone on their day. You've got top managers like, you know, Pep, Klopp. You know, Arteta's coming up. And so on and so forth. So it's going to be a completely different proposition for whatever manager, whatever one of these risky managers come to the Premier League. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, man. Drifty, big up to Drifty in the building. Liverpool fan, you know the ones there. Like, how is the mood like in Liverpool? Like, fans, like, is it like optimistic? Is it kind of like you lot worried? Like, are you kind of like excited? What's the mood like just in general right now?
We're talking about the Premier League funeral, or are we talking about the future?
Oh,
like,
you know what? A bit of both, yeah. A bit of both, man. A bit of both. Obviously, the manager's coming in.
One look at his face, and you can actually tell exactly.
Yeah.
What is going on?
We sat here a week ago, and you lot already know I said we'll get 3 points from the 3 away games, however it may be. I probably thought it would be 3 draws, but we got the 3 points straight away against Fulham, and now we won't collect any more. So I was pretty much on the money. I knew this was happening, so I'm not as annoyed as some others, even though it is disappointing, obviously. But in terms of the manager situation, I'm a rare one amongst our fan base, because I'm actually quite optimistic about Arne Slot. I actually think if you do your research on people rather than just jumping to conclusions, because in football, what we do a lot is we go with what's hyped. I'm not even taking shots at anyone in particular here, but I think there's some people who, when it comes to certain managers, they just jump on the bandwagon. Same thing people do with players. Remember when McCartney was the best thing since sliced bread? Did anyone really do their research and watch how good he was? They just heard the hype train, boom. So I think a lot of people have done that with some managers, but I've done some real deep research, me and Matt. We did a show on it a couple of days ago as well. And we delved into Amorim and Slot, and the managers that we're linked with that are the realistic ones that we'll probably get. And if you actually do your research on Slot, he's good, man. He's good. I think the comparison with Ten Hag is lazy as hell. What? Because he's bald and he's Dutch, so he's just like Ten Hag. Like, come on, man, this doesn't make any sense. Like, so is every Portuguese manager as good as Jose Mourinho then? Like we can't just. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can't just do.
But does it worry you though that the hype that Ten Hag got though before he came in and the job he's done here, it's a bit like, come on, like you expected a lot from him and he's come here and the league ain't the same. The league ain't the same. Let's be honest.
It's not, and you do have to get used to the league. But I do think we have a bit of Premier League snobbery where we just seem to think that we're just so much better than everyone else, that you got to handle this league. Yes, the intensity of the league, the lack of break, the fixture schedule, those kind of things, yes, they're very, very difficult to get used to or to adjust to at first. But there's players and managers who come here and take to it like a duck to water. It just depends who you are. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone said that Pep couldn't play his football in England and he dominated everything. And look what the history books are saying. Do you know what I mean? Everybody used to say the Premier League can't have pretty football with small footballers. You had to have big, massive, powerful footballers. You know what I mean? And there's so many managers who've proved that wrong over the years. It's all individual based. So anything after Klopp is downhill, Saeed. Anything.
Yeah.
So no matter what.
I do think that Arne Slot will be exponentially better than Ten Hag, for the bare fact that I feel like Ten Hag came in and he's decided he didn't want to play the football that he got signed with. Whereas I think Arne Slot will at least try and implement the 4-2-3-1, at least trying to play with more attacking play, like in a number 10 and stuff like that. So I think straight away he will be a better manager. I just don't think that. I think Liverpool are in for a shock. I really do. I just think, honestly, as I said, I think the signing of the manager, and I think for me, look, the reason that you have to look a little bit ambiguity with the manager is, however you want to dice it up, it's the third choice manager. They went for Amorim. For whatever reason, he doesn't want to come, or they didn't get him because they feel like he's not fit the model of and the statistics. Fine, that's a club decision. They went for Xabi Alonso, and he's clearly decided to stay there. Now, if Real Madrid was open, he would go right now without hesitation. So for me, as I said, the reason why I come back to it, and I just think that Liverpool fans are in for a shock, because we always said Klopp was the equalizer. We said that Liverpool didn't have the quality of a Man City, but they've got Klopp who can help to bring their level up. I genuinely do feel a lot of their players aren't as good as they are, and I think they're going to be shown to be like that from next season. I think there's going to be a drop-off in the performance levels and a lot of their players, and I think the manager's been brought in because he's a stopgap, and he might be a good stopgap until they get the manager they want, and that's fine. It's not a problem. Every club seems to do it, but I do think Liverpool are in for a huge shock next season. And do I think it's fair? No, because whatever I think about Liverpool, I don't think it's fair that a big club should have to, be cherry picking a lower, third of the managers. I think they should be going for the top managers, but it's however they want to skin their cat, they can do it, and if it works, it works. But I think they're in trouble next season.
But Lee, there isn't any top managers, and that's the problem. We live in a world where player and manager quality is just way less than it used to be. And I'm not saying that to sound like an old head. I just think anyone who truly does love football will recognize the quality is so much lower now, or the choice of top quality is so much lower now than it used to be.
Nah, it is. It's true. It's true.
It is, you know. I think I don't even know if Arne Slot is the third choice, as in I don't know what the situation is with Amorim, because the rumours are that Amorim wanted 10 to 12 million a year, which is, and Liverpool were like, we're not paying you that. That's pretty much what we play Klopp. Like, you got to earn the right for that. And he's like,
that's true. That's true.
But for me personally, if he rocks up at West Ham, he just doesn't have the cojones. He wet the bed. Like, I'm sorry, there's no way he takes the West Ham job and it isn't, he was too shook to be Liverpool manager. Because I'm not sitting here with snobbery, I'm a Liverpool fan. All due respect to West Ham. If he's willing to go to West Ham and wants to be West Ham manager over Liverpool manager, then make him go on. He can go sit down at West Ham and live in London, as far as I'm concerned, because nobody should want to go to any other club in this world other than possibly Man United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, maybe Bayern Munich. After that, Liverpool should be a priority if you're a manager who believes in yourself and wants to be an elite club. So if Amorim goes to West Ham, I think Liverpool rejected him. Or there was something on our side that we were like, nah, we're not really feeling this. If he stays at Sporting, possibly he rejected us. That's how I look at it. Do you know what I mean? So I'll see what develops there with regards to whether he rejected us or we rejected him. But Arne Slot, they've been keeping an eye on him since Klopp announced it. Like, I've heard some rumblings that we had 3 or 4 managers and he was one of them on the list. I don't know how high up the pecking order he was, but look at Tottenham right now. They got their 4th or their 5th choice in Postecoglou, and I think we can all pretty much say it's been a brilliant turnout for them. It doesn't always work out bad for you if you get a manager that's not the manager that you want. Do you know what I mean?
The list of managers though is abysmal, isn't it? Like, when you look at the line and you look at the list so far, I'm looking through it thinking, really, is that the list? Like, we're all everyone seems to go mad. Oh, go get Zerbi. Go get Zerbi. Man, keep Zerbi away from all those jobs.
Yo.
What is this obsession with this guy, man? I don't get it.
I'm 50-50 on him, Zerbi. I like his philosophy, but the thing is, there's no baseline to what he does.
It's so bizarre.
It's just,
I think that's unfair, though, man.
Yeah, let's be honest. Even though Man City are just head and shoulders above Brighton are a good team. They've got good players, and they were the home team. What did he do at 1 or 2-0 to recognize what was happening, to maybe change the tide and do something like that? He's a very brilliant at the one dimension, but very one-dimensional manager. And he gets bent over 5, 6, 7 times a season. Not my manager. I'm sorry, I don't want that in my club.
I do think that's fair.
He scored about 100 odd goals, but he's conceded 100 odd goals. He's won 25 games in almost 70. 25. Nah, man.
Before you go,
Brighton are in the Copa Europe places. It's not like this guy's managing Wigan. Like, Brighton aren't a terrible football.
I know, true. Before you go, Lee, before you go, Lee, because I'm sure you're going to say something. I spoke to Ryan, who's a Brighton fan, He covers, like, Brighton content. And he said it's 1 year too soon for De Zerbi. He actually watches him, I think. So it's 1 year too soon for a big job. Maybe next year he stays at Brighton, does what he needs to do, and then go from there. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? So that's where I believe he needs to sort out, because I like his philosophy, but I feel like he hasn't got the players maybe to do it fully. You get me? I don't know if he's.
And I think we have to. When you look at it, you have to have an overarching view. And I get Dan's point about. I think the stat he said is conceded X amount of goals and they've scored X amount of goals and they've only won 25 games in 70 something games or whatever it is. But I do think you have to look. Listen, this is Brighton. The only reason why I knew about Brighton was, and this is no problem me saying it, Gay Pride Week and the university. I didn't know about the football, anything to do with that. That is the genuine truth. So for me, when you think about Brighton now, it's quality football and it's expressive football. So I think getting them into Europe, whatever you want to say, he's done that. And I think when you look at the style of him, he does rub people up the wrong way. He does seem a little bit arrogant at times. I think even he's come at Arsenal at times with some of the things he said, but the guy has backed himself, bro, and he's got quality. Yeah. I don't know if he can translate that into a top, in terms of a top team. But listen, man, I think the guy definitely deserves respect, and he should go to another team and try and show that he's got levels, because I think he can do it, man. He's managing the Champions League as well. So listen, people said the thing about Arteta, like he's not got this, he's not got that experience. So like the guy's got experience, he's managed in the Premier League, he's got quality, playing out of players that aren't actually at the level. So I think, you know, a little bit more quality, a little bit more respect needs to be put on his name. The same way how what's his name, Emery, he deserves a lot more respect.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
definitely.
I'm not saying he's a shocking manager. I like Emery likewise. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
I know.
I don't understand why Chelsea, Liverpool, all these levels, man. Like people, I was on a show the other day. I think it was with you, Mo. Or was it Martin said, "Oh, after Pep, we all want Zerbi." Why? Why? The guy's not won anything. I just don't get it. I find it bizarre, man. I think he's overhyped, is what I'm getting at. I think he's all right.
He's very good, but he's overhyped. And you're right, and that's why I was saying I don't want him anywhere near Liverpool. But again, everyone's going to be a step down after Klopp leaves.
Always, man. 100%, man. Big up to everyone locked in. There's 650 of you in the building. Make sure you like the video. I don't know how many likes we're currently on in a minute. But please do hit the like button. We're going to be talking about the North London derby. 173 like. Let's get up to 300 if you can. Big game this weekend, man. Is this the biggest North London derby ever? Damn Potts. Start off with you. Is this the biggest London derby ever?
I think it's probably one of them in terms of how important it is for Arsenal. In terms of the importance of both teams, I'm not sure. Because for me, people will say that the ones where we were going for Champions League football were bigger because it was so much on both sides. But for this one, let's be real, Tottenham are trying to get back Champions League. We've moved on since those days and we're now going for the title. So for us, I think it's bigger. It's probably big for Tottenham, but it's big in a different way of like they just want to shit all over our title. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the only reason it's big for them. If they win this game, it doesn't guarantee that they'll get Champions League football because Villa are still, you know, in the driving seat for that at the moment, the way they're playing. But I do feel like it's big in terms of that. But yeah, man, it's a massive game always. North London derby is always big. And this is the one that everyone's got their eyes on for Arsenal to drop points. So hopefully it's not going to happen and we go and take the game to them because we can do. But yeah, it's huge. In terms of the fan base, let's be real. The players and the manager will definitely want to win this game. When it comes to when they play Man City, the players and the manager will want to win it because they're professionals and they'll go for it and they'll do what they can to get this top four. But the fan base are going to be like, we don't care if you roll over in this one. Just play the kids. I heard Fuad last night with you guys saying, "I'll just play the academy players and all that." The fans just don't want us to win the league. Understandable. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But for this game, they're going to be well up for it, man. So I think it's going to be a quality fixture. I do. I think it's going to be quality. Whether it's the best ever, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I seen Abby and Robbie, the video on the AFTV. That was funny, man. Anything to stop the league, man. This is the biggest game in their history because you know what? Everton did their job, man. Like, people can laugh at Everton, but Everton did their job. They stopped Liverpool from winning the league, potentially. I know, obviously, it's a long season, but, you know, Gooner Lee, man, you know what I'm saying? If they stopped you win from the winning league, will that hurt you, like genuinely? I know you got Fulham and West Ham, but that day they could stay, yo, we stopped the league at White Hart Lane. They could make a song out of it, man. You know what I mean? Let's be real.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I'm just more wanting to win the game because of the league. You know, I'm not worrying about, you know, the derby per se. I know it's hard to separate the two, but I really am just trying to go like it's the next game. I'm trying to take the emotion out of it as much as possible. Obviously, it's quite difficult to do that. But I'm really just wanting the game to just be there tomorrow. I want to just get the game done and hopefully we get out there, you know, unscathed. I'm not gonna, you know, say that it's gonna be an easy game, but I do think we'll win. I think we, you know, the players have to step up. I think we've got more than enough. And I even saw the preview on Dan's channel with Don and like talking about the players and stuff. And I think we've got more than enough to win the game. And I think the players will create a few chances. I think they're poor with set pieces as well. So that kind of goes in our favor. So yeah, look, I'm just trying to remove any emotion out of it and just look at it as it's just the next game. And you know,
yeah, but it's not just the next game though, man. You can't.
I'll be honest as well. Part of me, the main reason is for me as well. I do think Man City are going to win it. So as much as I think, even if we win or lose, I think we'll still will. I think Man City they're gonna go on another 4 game beaten run.
What was he say there, Drifty?
Arsenal's going to win the league.
What?
Yeah.
Why is it? Oh, hold on a minute. Yesterday, Grizz, and now you. Like, what's going on? Why is the energy changed from Liverpool fans? Why has it changed? The energy?
No. If you, I mean, Lee can even back me on this. I've kind of been along with Arsenal for a while.
Yeah,
like, obviously, I back my team. But out of City and Arsenal, it's Arsenal. maybe I'm being naive to think 4 in a row can't be done. Because I haven't seen it done, there's that little part of me that's like, can it really be done? Because I've never seen it be done. Remember, that's what City are trying to achieve here. And not only that, Arsenal, for me personally, will win all 4 remaining games. With City having that extra game in hand that they have to win, and I think 3 of their 4 games are away from home. Forest and Fulham and Spurs are all away. They're going to drop points in one of those games. Not even necessarily lose the game, but they're going to draw one of those games.
Yeah. I tell you what's different, though, Drifty. I tell you what's so different. This is the first time in 7 years that Man City have no other competitions, and they've got a free run game in.
Free run.
So I hear that.
This is so we can look at it and say, oh, it's a 4-4-P that was never been done. But we've also never seen Man City be in this position where they can just rest up, be in a hyperbolic time chamber, waiting, game in and game out. And actually, if you give Pep more time to prepare, because normally you would have 3 days to prepare. If you're now giving them 6, 5, 7 days to prepare, I do think, bro, like, and we know about crunch time De Bruyne. We know about crunch, and we saw it yesterday. That was the start of it. So I'm very, very worried about that. But yeah.
You know what though? I feel like for me, Man City, they're just a machine, innit? You know what I mean? And this is the problem. Like, they've been there, done it. And I feel like now that it's a 2-horse race, it helps them so much better now, man. They don't have to worry about Liverpool, chasing them or whatnot. It's just Arsenal, really, that you got to worry about. That's it. Arsenal.
Really, it's about where they're going to drop points, man. Man City. I just don't know.
Tottenham away. Do
you think though? Do you really think?
No, Willian, Fulham. Don't sleep on that Fulham game. I was so shocked. 3 points.
Yes.
Do not sleep on that Fulham game.
Don't sleep on that Fulham game.
I honestly, hand on my heart, I swear to you, I thought yesterday was a game. I thought Brighton.
Nah.
I swear on everything.
Brighton played pretty football. They were never going to win against City. They played pretty.
Brighton is not the one. I thought Forest and Fulham have got more of a chance than Brighton. I knew we dumped Brighton. And Brighton are shocking.
Forest, they could be.
Forest, they're fighting for their lives, man.
They're fighting for their lives, And you know what's mad? The good thing about that one is that everyone's against them, Lee. Everyone's against them, Lee, in terms of Forest. Remember, the Premier League's against them. They might have that siege mentality. You never know. The
problem is, though, Man City have far and away just way more quality than Brighton. Than Nottingham Forest, Wolves, Fulham. Like, it's so obvious and painful how much better they are in terms of quality. So I really do just think that we are hoping on a prayer that they drop points. I thought Brighton away, they can turn up. I thought they would play a Dingra. I thought they would play the other young wing. I can't remember his name. Enciso?
Yeah, Enciso, yeah.
Enciso, sorry. I thought Danny Welbeck, Wele, I thought he was going to come forward. I really thought that was going to be the game. Fulham, I watched them against Liverpool, and this was a Liverpool team that had no life in them. They had just been smacked up out or knocked out of Europe, and they were painfully average. I thought Liverpool were really, really good. And I didn't even think that, they had their first 11 out. They played Harvey Elliott, who he's a good squad player, but he's not a first teamer in that regard. They played obviously Jota coming back from an injury. I mean, I know Fulham on their day, they can do things, but I don't have any hope for Fulham. And Nottingham Forest, I just think, as I said, when you look at the quality, they're not great. They're really, I mean, Gibbs White, he's a good player. I know they've got the young centre-back who's quite good. He was really, really good when we played against him away from home as well. But I really, really do think that the Brighton away was the game that I looked at and I thought, please do something. And I'm not even going to look at Spurs away because they would genuinely rather play, they are not even under 18s. I think they would rather play under 16s, honestly.
It's going to be very interesting. It is going to be very interesting. You know what's crazy, Saeed, yeah? I'll admit this here and now, even in front of Dan and Lee. I wanted Arsenal out of the Champions League because I never want them anywhere near that trophy. And I own that. City, I didn't want them to win it, but I don't really care as much. Like, again, this is no disrespect to City or their fans, but they can win as much as they want. It will never bother me. I genuinely don't think it will ever bother me. Like, it annoys me in the moment when it's Liverpool up against them, but You see this Champions League team. I sat there and I was like, yeah, Real and Bayern. Well played. I now sit in hindsight and I'm like, yeah, the people were right, you know. We needed a Man City Arsenal semi-final so Liverpool could win the league. Because if they were distracted in a game against each other, I think maybe Brighton, maybe Chelsea, maybe some of these teams do actually take some points off Arsenal. But as Lee said, with the free run now, which I think counts for Arsenal as well. I think Arsenal counting that the free run of Arteta getting week in, week out and not having to train midweek, travel midweek and all that. I also think it helps Arsenal. So it's actually like, yeah, for real, them two going out the Champions League is actually properly messed up Liverpool. Because if they're playing each other, even the position we're in now, I'd be like, if we can beat West Ham, them lot might still drop a point here or there. But now I'm like, yeah, they're just going to win all their games pretty much. So
I think, listen, psychologically, Liverpool are done, man. They're done psychologically. It's not. No,
we are. Yeah. But encouragement could have helped. Do you know what I mean? Like seeing the others drop some points here or there could have helped. Do you get what I mean? But because we are tired, once we see the others are playing well, it's like, oh, yeah, let's allow this. But if we saw they're on the ropes a bit, maybe we could find a motivation from somewhere because it's just mental and physical fatigue with us. And sometimes you can get a second wind. It's not quality. If it was quality, we wouldn't be here. We've been in a title race up until now because of quality.
As well. Did you think the other night as well, Drifty? Like I watched the game and it was a shambles as far as Liverpool concerned against Everton, right? But I looked at some of the individual performances and I'm just like, wow. It wasn't long ago Sadio Mane and Firmino were in the position of Diaz and Nunes.
Yeah,
and
no.
What a drop off it is, like ridiculous. Then I look at Andrew Robertson, a player that I've given a lot of credit. He looks done out here, man. He looks so bad individually. He was awful. And I'm just like, that is not a bad player, but he looks just done. And I'm like, why? He's hardly played this year. In midfield, like this Soboslai guy that I was told was going to be an unbelievable signing. He has been a flop. He's been absolutely terrible. He's just smashing the ball from 35 yards. I don't see him do anything else. Just goes over the bar every time. So, yeah, man, I think it's a lot. These players have let Klopp down, in my opinion. I think they have. I think they've let Klopp down massively. I honestly, I'm shocked at how bad some of them have been in the last few weeks when it matters. Even Salah, he was stinky against Everton, man. Stinky.
Yeah, they can't handle the pressure. They can't handle the pressure. But
yeah,
I think their emotion. Do you know what it is? I think Klopp leaving was too long. And again, people can blame him. It's not his fault. It got leaked, and he just wanted to be the one to tell us rather than it will become like this rumor mill and all that. So I'm not angry at him for telling us. But when he told us, it was too early. Like if his news had come out in like March or even this month, I think we'd have been like, what? We'd have been in shock. But we would have been like, all right, let's just do this. And the emotion would have only been needed to have been rolled for a few weeks. This has been so long. But
Fergie said his one in December. Remember Fergie one when he announced his retirement? He said his is in December, and then they ended up winning the league. You know that season we ended up.
He didn't say it until March. Saeed, he was leaving.
No, he said it early. He said it
early, man. I think Fergie announced his retirement in December.
Yeah, Drifty, you're talking about when they were on the pitch. That was the last game of the season where he had the microphone in his hand.
No. I could have sworn it was like maybe 5, 6, 7 games to go when the news broke that Fergie was leaving. Well, it can't have been halfway through.
Not December. It wasn't December, but he said it earlier than.
He said it early though. I'm sure he said it early.
I don't think he did. You know.
I remember because it was he kind of, I don't know, maybe he knew in December and he didn't announce it, but there was something anyway. I'm sure it wasn't as early as late as it was. You know,
I'm sure when he announced it, Man U had a considerable lead that you couldn't really have lost. Like it wasn't like you were in a race or something like that.
No,
like
so he said it Monday the 8th of 2020. So yeah, Monday the 8th. Sorry, he said it.
Monday the 8th of what? Like
2013.
No, what month, bro? What month?
Oh, May.
Oh,
yeah. See, I knew it was near the end of the season. He didn't announce it early, bro.
Okay, my bad then. Nah, I generally thought Yeah, my bad then. I generally thought he announced it early, or there was murmurs or something. Anyway, there was some kind of like rumors or anything like that. It would be
time. Remember, he was going to go twice. Maybe you're thinking of the first time when he said he was leaving, and then he changed.
Maybe. I generally thought he was a bit earlier than that, but yeah, go on. Yeah,
but
then again,
so I just think it's been too long, Saeed, of us having the emotion of him going. It's just months and months and months of the emotion, and I think it's been too much. I think if you just said it maybe 4, 5, 6 weeks before the end of the season, we'd have got the shock, but we'd have galvanized it. Right, let's do it for him then if he's going. But if you got December, January, February, March, it's too long knowing he's going and it all becoming a thing. And then some people might start thinking, well, if he's leaving, I don't really have to listen to him anymore. And I would like to hope nobody in our squad thinks like that, but humans do that sometimes, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? Sometimes, well, if he's not even going to be here next year, like, you would hope not, but that can also seep in. Like, so, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It is what it is.
But now, like I said, man, Tottenham, it's a difficult game. I mean, Goonie, man, you know what I mean? You're in a difficult position there, man, but do you see Arsenal getting over the line? Like, have you got... You're in New York, man. You don't have to deal with this, man. It's only social media you have to deal with this, but a lot of people are worried, man. You know, Arsenal could do it, man. Like, they're there and abouts. They've improved on last season. Let's be honest. They've improved on last season.
You're on mute, bro.
Yeah, Goonie, you're on mute.
Oh, shit. Sorry. This is one of the rare times where I'm going to want Tottenham to win something. Because, again, I don't want to see Arsenal lift any kind of silverware up whatsoever. None. I don't. Of course, Arsenal could win the game. 100%. 100%. I mean, they've been on a great run. I think their victory against us, the 5-0, I think when you look at the squad that we put out, it was horrible. You guys know I'm not a fan of the entire squad anyway, but it was a horrible squad, and it was one of the most cowardly performances that I've seen for a very long time, and that's saying something. So if you're looking at that game and saying, you know, it's a super supreme Arsenal, I think it was also the fact that they're playing a very, very weak and disappointing Chelsea team. Tottenham's not going to be easy because like Dan was saying, there's the incentive of the fact that that's their bitter rivals and they're going to try and do anything to stop them from winning the league. Very similar to what it was at Stamford Bridge when we played Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? When Eden Hazard scored that equaliser that basically in effect won Leicester the league. So they might be looking at it like that from that point of view. But wouldn't surprise me. The thing is, it wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal were to win their last 4 games. It wouldn't, because they have been playing very good football. They have got something a lot different about them. The mentality seems to be a lot better than what it was. But the question is, can they get it over the line? They have to get it over the line this time round, because, you know, things can change very quickly in the Premier League, very, very quickly in the Premier League. And you can't continue to be the almost guys, because eventually there might be another team that comes up and decides to involve themselves in one of the challenging spots. So yeah, man, Arsenal's time is now, bruv. They've got to do it now.
Yeah, do you know, man.
Guys, if I was an Arsenal fan, do you know why I'd be optimistic? Even though it'd be real disappointing to get this close and not win it again 2 years in a row. Next year is a guaranteed Arsenal win.
Yes, I think so as well.
Pep Guardiola is not going to be able to motivate City to go 5 in a row. Come on, man. Come on, man.
I think Arsenal are favourites next year. Definitely Arsenal favourites next year for me.
So within the next 12 months, Arsenal will win the league. So it'll be disappointing if it's not this year.
Why do we say this when there's variables that can happen? Like, for example, we don't know what's going to happen this summer. City might sign magnificently. They're already linked with Musiala. They're already linked with several other players, top level players as well. That might galvanize the squad to go again.
No way it is.
But are City going to spend the money in front of us that they stole? When you rob a bank, you're supposed to sit on it, man. Don't buy flashy clothes.
That's true. You're Drifty knows, man. Drifty been watching a lot of what's he call it? Money Heist, yeah.
People who are saying Arsenal are going to be favourites, Arsenal going to be favourites next season. I think it's more like they just want someone different so badly to win the league that it's like it has to be them, because we don't know about Liverpool. We don't see Tottenham or Chelsea or United anytime soon. We don't see Villa going and doing a madness, or Newcastle.
You don't believe in Ineos?
Arsenal.
Nah.
Well, exactly. So, and for me, like, I'm with Goonie. Like, if Manchester City, even if they don't win the league and Arsenal win it, like that's the only reason I would give the Arsenal be favourites again, because they won it. Because let's be real, you hear who Man City are linked with: Bruno Guimaraes, Lucas Paqueta. That's better than Nunez and Kovacic right there. Yeah. So they've improved in midfield. They get their Mahrez replacement, whoever that's going to be. If it's going to be the guy that they've signed already, what's his name? Is it Savio? Savio, So they've in my opinion, from what I hear, he's good. I don't really rate Doku. In my opinion, I think he's not great. Bernardo Silva's going, so there could be a new look Man City, but that might not be a bad thing. It might be a good thing. So I'm kind of with Goonie there. I think you can never say that Man City aren't favourites, because they just do it each time. And who would write them off if they did 4 in a row? Who would write them off doing 5 in a row? Do you know what I mean? I know it's difficult, but this team are just ridiculous, man. They're scary.
You're not going to get up then. So it's not even writing City off. It's just looking at the trajectory. You got a very similar trajectory that we had when we won the league. I think looking back now in hindsight, it was obvious we were going to win the league. Our trajectory was just too good at that time. We were just blowing teams away. We were going on 18-game winning streaks. We won the Champions League. Like, we were just, you know what I mean? It was almost inevitable we were going to win the league that year. And Arsenal I don't think you're doing it as well as we did, but you're on that very similar trajectory. You get that striker, that one final part that will make Arsenal scary. Because at the moment, Arsenal aren't scary. Their football is good and they're impressive in that regard, but they're not scary. If they've got a Suarez up front, they become scary. Do you get what I'm saying? If they had a Lewandowski up front,
need a killer, man.
Need a killer, man. But who's out there, though? Who's out there? That's a problem, though, isn't it? You know,
well, there's a few. I think even Tony, maybe by name, he isn't that type of guy, but by profile, he makes Arsenal scary. If Ivan Toney rocks up at Arsenal, Arsenal becomes scary. He's bagging 30 goals a season. I don't think Arsenal should touch Osimhen. I do think he's good, but I don't think he'll do well in the Prem. I could be proven wrong on that one, but if I was Arsenal, I ain't paying 100 mil for Osimhen. But you know what I mean? That he's right there.
Isak, that's the one I want.
Isak, yeah. But Newcastle not selling him. I think Matty said 150 million they want for him.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, they're not selling him.
His injuries are a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, it would worry me. You don't want him missing key games then. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got your way and he's got a hamstring injury, or do you know what I mean? That's the thing I'd worry about with Isak.
He's so good though, isn't he? He's so good though when he is fit.
He is. But I think we've got more pressing news, and it's more personalized to my good friend, the illustrious host, which is Saeed. The week commencing 18th of September 2023, I was on this very show. And we had the conversation about a certain Odegaard versus Maddison. We had a conversation, and at that time I was backing my guy. I said, people are gonna see, this guy's a great player. He's a great captain. And you try to go against my idea that Odegaard is a much better player than Maddison. So I think this is the time. Don't try it. I think this is the time where I think an apology and a sincere apology is needed, because
but that's my preference, though. That wasn't the conversation. It was a preference.
That wasn't the conversation. The conversation was who was better. You said who. The question was who was better. We can go back to the stream. The question was who was better, and you then after the game when Maddison got 2 assists was like, look, he's better. So. I'm not gonna double down on that.
I'm gonna double down on it. I'm still gonna double down on it.
He was at a better season.
Obviously, Odegaard's had a better season. I believe Odegaard's had a better season.
Am I allowed my apology? I just feel like
I don't think it's an apology. I still think for me, I'm picking Maddison over Odegaard. That's who I like as tens.
No, it's
not about being shameless. You asked me at the time, who would you rather have? I said, for me, I'd rather have Maddison.
Oh, this guy, you're a shameless guy.
But the thing is, that's an opinion, that's a preference. I've liked Maddison since 2018 when he was at Leicester. I wanted him at United before Bruno, before anyone. So I've always had that thing from. But for me, though, when I look at it, though, it doesn't change my view on who's had a better season. I'm still going to be objective. I think Odegaard's been class this season. He's been unreal, and people are talking about maybe is he world class and whatnot. Wow. So, I give it him. I'm not going to say, Odegaard is rubbish and I've got an agenda. No, I like Odegaard. But for me, I've always liked Maddison for some reason. I've liked his way he plays. So
I agree with everything you said.
Yeah, let me comment on this because I was the same. So 2018, I loved Maddison, right? Wanted him so badly. Wanted him before we got Odegaard. Got Odegaard on loan. linked to be Odegaard again. When he was on loan at Arsenal, people won't remember this probably, but he wasn't outstanding like he is now. He was good. He wasn't outstanding, Odegaard. He was really good though, right? And then we got linked with Maddison, and I thought, go get Maddison. Like, get both if you want, but definitely get Maddison. And then I would say 18 months ago, I was with you still, Saeed. I was like, nah, the last 2 years, you can't deny. Like, Odegaard has been ridiculously good for us, man. And if Maddison wasn't so injury prone, you can sit there and talk about it. But obviously, Maddison's done it at 2 clubs that have not done anything in terms of competing. One of them got relegated. The other one is now trying to struggle to get into the Champions League qualification. Odegaard is actually now starting to do it. And do you know what? My 2 things of Odegaard, the reason that I wanted Maddison was I looked at the GA and Maddison was killing him every season. That's now changed. The other thing that's changed is Odegaard turning up in big games, because that was something I questioned. He's now doing that. So for me, I think if you look at who's improving, I think Odegaard's left him dead in the water this season, man. I really do. Even the last 2 years. And this is for me. I love Maddison. I think he's an unbelievable footballer.
Dead in the water. That's crazy.
No, he has. And the thing is, the consistency's there. And let's just be frank. I think even on top of everything what Dan just said, the thing about Odegaard is he fully drags Arsenal through games at times where, you know, Jesus is missing chances. If you see the performance that he did against Chelsea, he literally, the guy that we don't rate, and everybody, not me, but people don't rate Havertz. He's making him look like a good player. This is what he's doing, and he still can't be put on a pedestal above the likes of Maddison. And listen, we talk about Maddison being injured. He's been back for 2.5, 3 months, and he's still been stinking at the gap. And it's got nothing to do with any of the other players. It's him. He's been poor. He's been stinky, and he's not dragged his team through the mud. Not for a title challenge, but just to secure top 4 in games where they've been poor, and he's been poor as well. So listen, I think to even have them on the same level, I think it's so disrespectful. I think it's as disrespectful as comparing maybe Saka to Mo Salah. I honestly do. I think it's so disrespectful.
Wow.
What?
I honestly do.
Wow.
I think it's
That's a bit much. That's a bit much.
That's a bit too much. That's what I'm saying. Why are you doing too much, bro? Maddison has put a body of work, bro. Are you crazy, bro?
I knew you.
Are you mad?
Maddison's body of work always consists of him being injured every season, and
here we go, man.
Hold on.
Things are not relevant to football, man. You know what I'm saying to you, like?
You're also, his body of work also shows every season that he falls off a cliff. Every season, Leicester, wherever he's been, he falls off a cliff. They both won the FA Cup in the time that they've been in the Premier League, just at different stages. For me, one is
Did he? Was Odegaard there? So was he on loan that season? Isn't it? Oh, okay.
No, actually, no. I'm lying. Sorry, he wasn't there. Apologies. He hasn't won it.
Oh, so he hasn't won it. Okay,
listen. I'll be honest.
Look at these guys, man. Shameless.
Sorry, but that was my mistake. But I'll be honest with you. If you're telling me that Maddison has shown anything near the level of what,
bro, are you crazy? He's coming to a Tottenham team and honestly been head and shoulders above most of the players in the team.
No.
It's mad.
Saeed. He's shown the same level of consistency as I've seen from Szoboszlai. He's been good for games.
There we go. That's what I'm saying, man. This is what I'm saying, but this is what I'm saying. Agendas have to agenda. You're crazy. Szoboszlai has played well for 3 games. 3 games. You know what I mean, bro? Are you crazy? This is mad. This is mad. You're nasty. You're nasty.
If Maddison played for Liverpool or any other team, he would be getting so much more slander. He's been poor.
He'd be balling out, bruv. Do you know how much I would take Maddison at Liverpool? You're crazy, bro.
He's been
You're
poor.
absolutely crazy.
Okay, so can anybody tell me what the excuse is? Because he's been poor for months.
It's his first season that he suffered a major injury.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so
Odegaard went balling out in his first season.
Okay, cool, fine. So let's just do. So hold on. Can I just for 1 second? So if you're going to use the excuse, if it's his first season, that's
it's not an excuse. It's a reason.
Okay, fine. If you're going to use the reason, okay, fine. I'm going to use the language correctly. If you're going to use the reason, can you do the same reason for why maybe Havertz hasn't scored 15 goals this season? Because it's his first season, right?
You can do, but he wasn't good at Chelsea either, though. That's the difference.
No. Don't do that.
At Leicester, Maddison was balling out, so there's no difference, bro.
We've got to stick to the point. The whole thing was, Havertz doesn't get an excuse because he's been in the Prem. You said the same thing for Maddison. He's been in the Prem, so you can't now.
By the way, do you remember this, Drifty? He said this, by the way. He said he's not a good footballer. He said, leave Cole Palmer is not a good footballer. Yo, Goonie, this is what he said. And this guy has got an agenda against Maddison. You can't take this guy seriously.
Hold on. Don't mix my word. I said, I don't think he's as good as how everybody. He's overrated. He's overrated.
That's even worse.
He is overrated.
Overrated in what sense? What do you mean by overrated? Tell me, explain what is overrated?
Overrated, bro. How comes when he was missing from the Arsenal game?
Exactly. Come on, man.
If he's overrated, why were you happy inside when he was out of the game against the
I swear to God, I was thinking, why is he ducking the Emirates? Like, why is he moving like a little bit?
Nah, there's not one Arsenal fan that could tell me they didn't think, thank God for that, Palmer's missing.
Nah,
come on, man. Let's not do this.
So hold on, you're saying if Palmer played that they would have won? Is that what you're saying?
If Palmer,
they would have had a chance.
If Palmer and Gusto were in that game, I think they could have got a draw at the Emirates. I do.
Yeah. Or done a better job than they did. You know what I'm saying?
Way better job than what they did. Because that's their two best players, Lee. Let's be honest, you did play them with their two. If they have a player of the season, it will be Gusto, runner-up, Palmer will win it. Those are their two best players this season. Played them without them. That's a big blow. That's a big blow.
That's a big blow. But so now you're saying that we would have drawn. No, we're not you.
Possibly drawn.
Man said we're not you.
Hold on.
This brother here.
What you're saying is when you played Liverpool, when you had they had Gusto playing, and they had Goonie, you're on mute. I can't hear you. You're on mute, bro. Oh,
yeah, you're on mute. You're on mute.
No, I think it's on the phone. I didn't realize.
Oh, sorry. So
what you're saying, when Liverpool played Chelsea at your ground at Anfield, it was what they played. They played the strongest team. So you beat them 5-0. But now all of a sudden, because we played them, we would have drawn.
Different stage of the season. That's all.
It's just always one reason for you.
No, it's just a different stage. I'd even go as far as to say there's a possibility Chelsea could have knocked City out the FA Cup if Palmer was fully fit in that game. You watching the game, you can see Palmer shouldn't have played.
Or if you had anyone but Jackson.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And obviously Jackson, if Palmer was fully fit, I actually think Chelsea beat City. The momentum they would have had from that game with a fully fit team to play you. Maybe you would have won. You're at home. You're a better team. Chelsea would have done a better.
I will say, look, let's just pump the brakes with this whole Palmer loving. He doesn't get double teamed. He doesn't get triple teamed. He always gets the freedom of the park. Nobody looks at him as he is the main threat.
Do you realize he has to work? He has to figure out how to find them positions himself, though.
Listen, as I said, I watch a lot of NFL and I watch a lot of NBA. The whole rule is the first season, when a player comes to the league, they build up tape on a player, and in the next season, the player normally, if they're a quality player, the way people believe, they come above it. And let's see, man. I think
he's a baller, though, Lee. You think Palmer's a baller?
Yeah, he's a good player, but I just think he's overrated. I really do. I think he's overrated.
But you just said NFL and NBA. My brother, this is Premier League football that you play with your feet.
It's sports. No. I'm giving an example because it's sports. When teams start to build up a profile and a tape on a player, I'm telling you, bro. Let's just see. Listen, everybody said.
I hear you. No, do you know what? You have a bit of a valid point because when Hazard came to the Premier League, he was an unknown element. But by the third season, you can see there was double teaming.
There you go, and that's all I'm asking for. And you know what, Goonie? If I'm crazy, go and look at my tweets. I said from day dot that Szoboszlai isn't the guy. Everybody was professing him because he scored that great goal against Leicester in the FA Cup. I think it was a Carabao Cup. Sorry,
Carabao Cup.
Calm down, and now look what's happened. So I can't be crazy. I'm just saying, just pump the brakes. Just wait a bit. The same way how I'm sure Drifty, we can't call Saka world class because the needle keeps moving. He does it in World Cup, we can't call him world class. He does it in the Euros, we can't call him world class. His numbers keep improving week in and week out, season in and season out. We can't call him world class. Can we not pump the brakes on Palmer? Are we not?
Listen. We got to move on. We got to move on. Listen. Big up to Tarrant. He said, Mo's sitting here thinking people like Gunali is why people hate Arsenal fans. Always doing too much, and I'm an Arsenal fan. Guys, there's nearly 1,000 people in the building. I wanted to quickly end on the Rashford tweet. I don't know if you guys seen the Rashford tweet, but he basically said, I appreciate your support. It is abuse and has been for months. Enough is enough. Obviously, this guy's blocked me, I'm guessing. Yeah, he has blocked me, so I can't see the tweet. But basically, he was saying that Rashford's getting a lot of hate. And listen, I start off with Dan, yeah. I believe for me it's time to move on, innit? I think he's, you know, he's kind of low-key lost the fans, you know, in a sense of maybe the match-going fans as well. There's a lot of people who was booing him at Wembley, which I got told of, you know what I'm saying? So I've always maintained, for me, it's always about criticism, innit? Like, I've criticised Rashford. Abuse is one of them where, like, I start going personal and that. I've never really gone personal. I've just kind of said, yo, I don't rate him as a footballer and I don't think he's that great and I want him sold. I've kept my stance on that. You know, but, you know, what do you reckon there, Dan, in terms of Rashford? And, you know, a lot of Arsenal fans were thinking of maybe getting him, you know, Martinelli, move him on and then go and get Rashford. What do you reckon to that?
Yeah, Man United fans would love that, wouldn't they? Listen, I stay clear. First of all, let me say anyone that abuses anybody online is a disgrace as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Let me just get that out there, right? I'm all for criticism. I'm all for questioning whether you can improve on a player or a squad or a manager or a board member or an owner. But whenever it starts getting personal, nah, drop me out, man. I ain't here for that. And that goes for everybody. What do I think of Marcus Rashford? I've made it quite clear to a lot of people on my streams and my shows and on other content that I've shared. I think he's really overrated. I think he's really overhyped. I think when he first come on the scene, he was a really good prospect. Mentally pathetic, if I'm honest. I think the mentality of the kid is shocking. I think his ability on the ball as a youngster was ridiculously good, but his mentality is Conference League, man. The geezer tapped out at Wembley. Oh yeah, I'll just come off injured. That'll do me. I don't want to be embarrassed by Coventry. Let's just come off. I've seen him say, "Don't question my commitment at Manchester United," and then just let Ross Barkley walk past him without him trotting around. I don't see any fight or desire or passion in this player. I think he's been a really bad couple of years for him. I think last season he had a good year, but other than that, he's had a pretty poor few years at Manchester United, where his numbers have just about hit double figures. I think last season he maybe got 14 goals, and that was a good season for him. Other than that, nah, man, it's not for me. And I honestly, when I say this, people laugh, and I was kind of tongue in cheek with it, but now it's looking like it's not too far off. I said, I think, I don't know what show it was on, but everyone tweeted me about it. I said that it was Danny Welbeck who feeds kids, and everyone laughed, and it was a bit tongue in cheek, right? But I'm looking at it now thinking I weren't far wrong. I don't see much of a difference with Marcus Rashford and some of the others. And if I was a Man United fan and PSG or Newcastle or any English club, any club, come in with a bid of between 45 and 50, I would absolutely snap your hands off. I think you'll be lucky to get anything near that because of his age and his still potential. But, mate, what's he really worth? Is he even worth that? I honestly would not want him at Arsenal. No chance. And people have said to me, Arsenal fans, oh, we got to get this guy because we can make him, but Arteta can make him better. I don't want someone we can work with. We're not in that position anymore. We need players that come in and are ready now. I don't want any more projects with Arteta. Yeah, we've had enough of that. I want players that are ready now. So, honestly, I think Rashford, the two players that I would get rid of first at Manchester United, right? Forget the flops and all that nonsense. Mentality-wise, Bruno Fernandez and Rashford are the two that I would say see you later to, because I wouldn't want that bloke as my captain anywhere near it, and I wouldn't want Rashford in my team. And I think United would be a better team without them, a better place for it. I think people learning off of people like that is not what you want. When Kobe Manu has got Bruno Fernandez and Rashford as the two that he's looking up to, that's wrong for me. He needs players to be brought in that can work around him, and that for me would be my biggest worry right now. Is I think he looks pretty special, this Kobe Manu kid, and if he's going to go down the Rashford route and be ruined, then he needs to be around some different heads, man. So 100%. Yeah, Rashford for me, we need to move on, man. You need to move on from Rashford, in my opinion.
I mean, Drifty, this comment here, would you take him at Liverpool? Diaz replacement?
100%. Not to replace Diaz, but I'll take him at Liverpool. Look, I understand everything Dan is saying, but for me personally, I think Rashford is unmotivated and mismanaged, and he has to take responsibility for that himself. Of course he does. But I think if you've got a manager who plays a system that suits the way he plays, motivates him, gets him up for it, because he's a bit of a confidence player. I think that's what Rashford's problem is. But you see, when Rashford is confident, he's one of the best players in the league. He's an unbelievable talent that's been mismanaged, and he needs to get his head right. So I agree with Dan on the mentality thing. But I just think it's because he's fed up at Man United. Everything's been so wish-washy all over the place at Man United. You lot have wasted talents like Martial, who I think was one of the best young talents in the world at the time. Like, Man United do this to people, and they have been doing it since Fergie left. So I wouldn't replace Diaz with him. But if you said to me Rashford was in Liverpool's 26-man squad, I'd be like, cool, let's roll. Because I think a proper manager, like if Klopp's going now, isn't it? If Klopp had Rashford, he would have got 15, 20 goals every single season. Trust me, every single season under Klopp, I think he would have got 15, 20 goals.
You know what it is with me though? Yeah, I'm gonna ask Goonie as well. Goonie, like, you know what it is with me though? It's more like, you know, like you got to be motivated, man. You like, I feel like for me, you know what I mean? I don't know the lifestyle choice. I don't know, but like, does he want it, man? Like, you know, Wayne Rooney was flipping. You know, he was what's it called? He was living it, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to live football, man. You got to live it through the moment. And I don't think he does, man. That's the problem, the reality that for me that I've noticed. You can't be consistent every year, like, you know, and then consistent. It's not going to work, man, Goody. It's not going to work.
No, there needs to be improvement year in, year out. And especially when you're held to the regard as how Marcus Rashford is at Manchester United. Whether you like it or not, with all your history, academy boy, and this and that and the other, you're looked at as one of the leaders in this squad, or one of the staple points of this squad, especially how he carries himself as well. It's not just enough to lead by example off the pitch. You've got to lead by example on the pitch as well. So consistency is key. And Dan's bang on. Like he said, like, you know, there are young players coming through. Kobe Mainu, we all see the ability of this kid. Very, very, it looks like he could be a special player. And if these are the sort of mentors that they have around them, when the going gets tough, you put your head down, you don't get involved in the game, you're half-assed jogging into challenges, or, you know, you're not really tracking back when you're supposed to. That's not really anything that you want to be, you know, that's not the example you want to be setting to the kids. I mean, this is a bit more of an extreme example, but think back to Barcelona with the Messi and Ronaldinho situation. Although on the pitch, nobody can ever question Ronaldinho, but off it, you know what I mean? The guy was a madman. The man didn't even turn up to training. Reason why Barcelona got rid of him, it hurt them, but they said, you know what? This is not the example that we should be setting at the club, because we've got a crop of youngsters that can come up and do something absolutely special. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes those decisions have to be made. And I think in terms of Rashford's behavior on the pitch, quite opposite to Ronaldinho, I think that might have to be the case. You know what I mean? I think he does have to go and move on, perhaps to another league, maybe. Drifty might be right. He could be a confidence player. He could be, you know, mismanagement of the player. And we have to be real. Like, Manchester United, really, since Rashford broke through, I believe did he break through with Ten Hag? No, not Ten Hag, sorry, Van Gaal.
Van Gaal. Yeah, Van Gaal.
He broke through with Van Gaal. Look how much has changed at your club. Look at the expectations of what was happening at the club. Because now we're going far back to a point where it was like, you know what? United haven't won the league. They don't look too great, but they're not too far removed from their successful period. Maybe they'll be able to build something. Now we're talking over a decade. So he must be thinking, well, like, if it's not happened by now, or we're not challenging by now, what am I here for? Well, I'm here to scrape top four. I'm here to, you know, get Europa and Champions League here and there, but nothing consistent. So it might be a motivational issue, 100%. But I think he needs to go. I do think he needs to go.
Yeah, listen, man.
Yeah, he needs to leave. He needs a change.
Yeah, he needs a change. I think he needs a change, and a fresh start would do in the world of good, man. So let's see, man. But listen, people, I will be discussing that in more detail tonight, 10 p.m. debate show. Make sure you're there. But yeah, and then obviously, Aguli, anything on Chelsea before we wrap up? Anything that you want to let us know? Is it still Poch out?
Absolutely. It's Poch out, it's Clown Lake out, it's half this squad out, and make Chelsea great again. And also a bonus one, Gareth Southgate out as well. Waste man.
Bro, Chelsea, man, they got a lot of injuries, man. What the flip is going on? We thought we have injuries, man, but broski, it is crazy, man.
We're a hospital, man. Cobham General Hospital. That's what's going on over there, bro. The rehab is getting.
Some of your fans, though, bro. Like, honestly, Goody, I know you ain't one of them, bro. But oh my god, some of the people that are still sticking up for this, I would be like, honestly, I'd want him to get my fan base to riot the pitch for some of the performances that I've seen of late. It's a joke.
Dan, I said this time ago. I said, you know what? In my head, I was thinking after the Burnley draw. In my head, I was thinking, these men need to storm the pitch and tear the goals off his roots and just absolutely go mental. Yeah, I know it's terrible for me. You know, some people might say it's inciting violence. I'm just reflecting how I felt inside. I was just infuriated, bruv. but I've been feeling like this for a very, very long time, because there's only been like a few of us Chelsea content creators that have been consistently calling this out from way back, even when it wasn't popular. Do you know what I mean? And now, you know, things are starting to come into fruition. And I think what happened against you lot, against Arsenal, the reason why I wasn't cussing and swearing and like I usually would if we lose against Arsenal is because I've seen this coming. I've seen it coming. I've looked at the quality of the squad. Dan, you know this. Saeed, you know this. Mo knows this. I've called it. I've called players that are not popular to be called out. I've always said I've got serious doubts about the overall quality of this squad. And I still stand by it. For months now, I've said I'll probably keep only 5 players. Now it's dropping down. I might even keep 3 or 4 now. We've spent $1 billion and we already need to get rid of a whole bunch of players. We need to get rid of the manager. We need to get rid of the recruiting staff. It's a whole mess at Chelsea Football Club. It's a big mess. But at the end of the day, all I want is what's best for the club. We might not, you know, Chelsea fans, you might not agree with my approach, but at the end of the day, we've got the same destination. We want our club to do well. We want us to be winning leagues again. We want to add more stars to our shirt in terms of the Champions League. We want to be there. We want to be attracting the best players in the world. Yeah. As Johnny Mineral says, this ain't Chelsea. It's not Chelsea, bruv. We need to bring Chelsea back. This is terrible.
I will say, Goonie, if you were inciting any violence for the players to be aside, for the fans to storm the pitch, they should go for the likes of what's his name, Enzo first, because he's absolute dog shit. And then they can go for Badia Chile because he's crap.
You know what's funny?
James and get him out of the hospital because he's a joker. So
do you know what's funny, Lee? Is Enzo Fernandez. There's always one player at every single club where they are the golden calf or the golden goose, the goose that laid the golden egg. In our case, it's Enzo Fernandez. If you even think about criticizing this guy, especially on Twitter, the Enzo sexuals will be all over your case, all in your mentions, getting personal, this, that, and the other. He's one I've been calling out. I've been saying Enzo for 105 million has been nowhere near it, because I'm the type of man where if you're having one exceptional performance every 5 games, that doesn't, you're not saying much to me. You're not really saying much to me. I'm expecting.
Did you not know all the Enzo sexuals, all those catfish guys online, the ones that support Enzo? It's just Don and Lewis. They just got loads of funny aliases. That's it. That's what they do. That's what they do. Sit at home, create fake accounts, and then if you say anything bad about Enzo or about any players that play for Chelsea,
Don loves him, man. Don loves Enzo, man.
Bro, it's literally Don. It's crazy. It's crazy. And Lewis,
anything you say about him is mad. It's mad.
This is my thing with Enzo, right? And obviously, I'm not saying Lewis said and Don said. These are my guys. You get me?
Yeah, of course.
But it's one of those ones where like everyone say, yeah, he's playing in the wrong position. You know, Poch doesn't have the right system for him. Those are valid points to an extent. But for me, when you look at individual aspects of his game, like for example, when you're consistently mishitting 5-yard, 8-yard passes, very simple passes, not spotting the run that's supposed to be made more times than none, things of that nature. You can't blame Poch for that. You've got to look individually at the player. It's very similar like Nicholas Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Look how many opportunities this guy's missed. Look at the FA Cup semi-final. Who's gonna blame Poch for him rounding the keeper and then having brain freeze and not shooting at an open goal? Who's gonna blame Pochettino for that header against you, man, at the Emirates? How the hell do you handball that in that position? These are the things that you can't account for as manager. That's not the manager's fault. Then when he gets that opportunity, he's 1-on-1, he hits the side netting at the Emirates. It's these things where I'm like, I can't look at Pochettino and say, hey, bro, this is your fault. This is your fault. Yes, the manager needs to go. I agree. 100% he needs to go. But I just feel a lot of my fan base are overlooking the quality, the squad quality overall. Some of these players are just not as good as what you think they are. And the sooner that we realize that, and
same at United.
Yeah, as soon as you realize that, the better.
That's refreshing, bro. As always, Goonie is like bang on the money.
Yeah, no. I like Goonie, man.
It's time to make Jackson a winger.
If only Liverpool's number 8 would have the same accountability, yeah. would be a lot further, innit?
Who?
Listen, people.
Soberslide?
Yeah.
Bruv, have you been listening to me recently? Bruv, Soberslide's been cheeks, bruv. People say I have an agenda against him now because of how much I've been criticizing him.
I was just asking. I was just saying.
But you sleep on the fact that he was a good player before he got here. He's not dead. He's just had a dead season. There's a difference.
Yeah. Listen, people, we're gonna wrap it up here. Big up to everyone who's joined the show. Agree to disagree. We're live every Friday, man. So make sure you lot are here. Get it set in your calendars. Put your notifications on. We're just past 400 likes. If we get to 500 likes, that'll be amazing. Big up to Guna Lee, man. Big up as always, man. Love for coming on.
It's good show as always, man. Big up, man. Big weekend. So yeah.
Yeah, man. Big up Judge Mo as well in the background as well. Big up to Judge Mo. Make sure you follow him as well. Big up to Dan Potts. Dan Potts, big up to you, man. Love for coming on.
Big up, man. Now, come on. Make sure you smash a like, people. Make sure you follow all these guys doing great content as always. And big up for having me on, Saeed. Thank you, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up Goonie as well, man. Love for coming on, man.
Yeah, man. No worries, man. Big up all of you. Great to have a chat. Sorry, I haven't been as consistent as I'd like to be, Saeed. I do enjoy these chats, man. So I'll do my best. I'll do my best going forward, bruv. I'm just working. I'm now back doing another degree, aerospace engineering. So there's a lot going on, bruv. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to kind of balance the lifestyle.
Come on, man. Nah, good luck with that, man. You get me? It's good to see people smashing it. Yeah. And they're Coppish, man. You know what I'm saying? When's the next therapy stream, man? I enjoy these therapy streams. What are you saying, Drifty?
Well, we're going live at 5:30 to see how far we get bent over by West Ham. Get people's take on that one.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're live tonight on our calling show. So if people wanna vent, tonight's the night. I'm sure it's definitely gonna be a therapy session tonight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. You know, what I mean?
Big up, man.
If you get the opportunity, slot us into your schedule.
Yeah, definitely.
Keep on coming for it.
Definitely, man. Definitely, people. We'll be back next week for Agree to Disagree. You know what I mean, and whatnot. We'll find out what's happening in the world of football, man. Hopefully, Arsenal are doing their thing, man, and then they can win this league. You know what I mean? Who knows? Because Man City.
Hey, Saeed, are you lot gonna bend over for Arsenal? Because you don't want City winning the league.
Come on, Saeed. Come on,
listen,
Saeed.
I want to use that word, you know what I mean? But listen, the floor is yours, you know what I mean? The floor is yours. You know what I mean? Where are
I can't believe there's people thinking that.
Southgate out.